NERDSoul. Late LK at OneYoungsta, hold it down, bring you that StreetGeek and NERDSoul. And what is up, my people? I am here at Capitol Ale House in downtown Richmond, RVA, holding down, doing my thing. But before we get started with this really cool episode of Talk Shop, I gotta introduce my co-host, Avery Evans. What's up, man?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
Me?
How you doing?
Hey, I'm good. I'm the triple C's, cool, calm, and copacetic. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I got soul.
That's
But I'm
right.
super bad.
So we are here
That
to
nerd
do a
soul,
really cool, do that really cool episode of Talk Shop. And today we're just gonna run down some things that we're reading. So really quick, let's throw out a book. I'll throw out a book, and then we'll go back and forth. But right now, what are you reading?
Well, I tip my hat to what I got on Star Trek. Star
All
Trek
right.
just rebooted, so I don't know why they did this. They ended at I hate when comics do this. They ended at issue 60, and then restarted at new number 1 in October called Star Trek Boldly Go. So I'm thinking it's going to be new art because the cover had new art. And then you look inside, it's the same artist and writing team from the first basically 60 issues, and it's just like, wow.
Word.
Maybe it's just some fresh blood, I don't know. So I've read the first 2 issues, and it's pretty good, and it's based off the Kelvin universe, which is the universe of the JJ movies.
Word.
And it's been real good, and they're encountering the Borg. So this is different from the regular universe that we all come to know and love, because the Borg didn't encounter the Federation until the Next Generation, which is about 80 years later. So they're having them getting encountered by Chris Pine's crew and all of them. So they're telling the story about that. And then another Star Trek book, which I really love, is called Star Trek Waypoint. It comes out every 2 months, and they do 2 stories in each book.
Okay.
And so that's their way of being able to hit all the different shows and the different iterations of Star Trek without having to have a book for each show.
Okay. So that's pretty cool. Well, right
And
now,
it's by IDW.
Yeah. Right now, I just ended up. You hit me with that new Rye joint.
Mm-hmm.
The first trade for Rye. Read that from Valiant. Really liked it. It's got futurism in there. It's got cyborgs in there. It's got karate and samurai stuff in there. It's right up my alley. The art is incredible on Rye. Like, it's got like this digital painted, glossy look. It's very futury. And just the pencils are incredible. The inks, man, I'm really blown away just by the art. And then the story, you're, at least for the first trade, you're brought on this kind of like detective journey of Rye finding out that he's not the first or only one like him. And figuring out sort of what he wants to do with that information and if that information is detrimental to him or not, and the world around him. Also, I've been reading up on I believe volume 4 of Shadow Man.
Okay.
Which brings us to the close of him taking out one of the Loa that were really feeding on people's emptiness and things of that. I love supernatural stuff. On CW Seed, I've been getting back into Constantine's show. So like, I love supernatural in general, but Shadow Man is one of those characters and one of those stories that I think is really, really dope. Black character, which is dope. And also you get to see a surrounding of New Orleans. So it's a book that's not set in like New York or
that's
LA.
real big for mysticism too.
Yeah. So it's
voodoo and all that.
yeah. So it's really cool to see like a different, like just a different background in a comic book. So that's pretty much what I'm up on right now. Any other?
Yes, I got a couple of old things. Like someone gave me the omnibus of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, so I was reading on that, and it's in line with the movie, but it's way more mature. I was like, whoa, like it's an Alan Moore book, so it's
yeah.
Oh, and Another recent that I was reading, of course, Black Panther with Brian Stilfreeze and Coates, but Stilfreeze is off the book now until the last story arc. But I was also got into Hitman and the Demon because I went to Baltimore Comic Con back in, when was that? Labor Day weekend, I think. Yeah, Labor Day weekend. And they had a panel with the artist, John, I forget his name, he works with Garth Ennis on the run of Hitman and also on that run on the Demon. Okay. So I'm kind of like a completist, I found out recently. So I went and hunted down those rare out-of-print trade paperbacks of Hitman, and I have every single one except for number 2. So I was reading number 1 of that, and also had the Demon Etrigan. I've always liked him since I saw him on the new Batman Adventures. So I've been reading that too, and I got the new Vampire Hunter D, but I need to read it. Of course, I'm a Walking Dead guy. I've been reading and collecting that since I actually read the comic books. I've only seen 2 episodes of the show.
Wow.
So
okay.
The comic books are pretty dope, and there's some real great stuff going on with that.
Now, speaking of that Vampire Hunter D, I was able to check out the preview comic that was, they had for free at like LA Comic Con and all, NYCC and all these places. And I was also able to make it to the release party and get to see some of the artists and some of the artwork, and that stuff is incredible. I'm waiting. I guess I can drop this. This isn't like super, spoiler knowledge. But there's going to be a huge hardcover when this story is done. It's going to be like beautiful, printed, and like etched in the book. That's what I'm waiting for.
I hate you right now. Because I'm like, I want that.
Should I wait or should I?
Yeah.
Because I like to wait and then read it. Kind of like binge, like instead of like read a book, I gotta wait till next month. I like buying like the whole or a trade, so I get like 5 issues at once.
A book version of Netflix where you just binge it all the way through.
So I can sit up for like a couple of hours and like read and be like, cool. But then the only thing is I don't get to read.
Put it down.
But at the same time, I don't get to read as often because of what I do here, YouTube, do it Facebook, do it after Buzz and stuff like that. But
let me sit it down. Let me wipe off the dust
for just a moment.
A little spoon.
But that's what I'm waiting for, and what they've got coming, from Stranger Comics with Vampire Hunter D is incredible. Now I have been able to check out some newer issues of Niobe.
Okay.
That also comes from
when I was because I was going through it, and I saw like, oh, Niobe, I've heard that. That looked dope. Tell me about that.
Niobe is this story, kind of like a fantasy story, following this young girl that's created by Amandla Stenberg, who is probably best known from Hunger Games. 2 very different movies from the Hunger Games. 2 you have a war movie and then sort of a apocalyptic war movie, but not the same.
Yeah.
But it follows this girl in like a fantasy setting, and she's starting to learn her
background, by the way.
Oh, she's a young black woman.
Oh.
And she's got these mystical powers, and she's learning how she comes into play with this with other beings like her, also in the, learning how powerful she is, and also running from her past and past sins that she thinks that she may need to pay for or maybe not pay for. I really gravitated to it. Very good book. On point. Not only is it on point, but it's also.
Waiting on a club sandwich by chance?
Yes. Not only is it on point, but it is really just a refreshing look from someone else's perspective. You have Sebastian Jones, Amanda Stenberg, you got Ashley Woods doing the art, which you have this kind of soft tones, kind of like watercolor look, and what?
Yeah. Female writer and a female artist.
That's something.
The bloom of that nowadays.
That's something that you don't get to see a lot of, and black women creating this book together, and it's very, very creative and very, very not only important to read from a social standpoint, but I think it's just it's good if you're into fantasy. If you're into something like say along the lines of maybe like sci-fi, not sci-fi fantasy, but more fantasy. So if you're into something like, not exactly, but like Lord of the Rings, Willow, stuff like that, more fantasy side of things, I think that you'll really enjoy this. It's a adventure. You do get some fight scenes, but it's definitely a great adventure that you get to go along with this young lady, and just incredible artwork, and once again, a very, very, I think, gripping story. Like a very gripping story. I think it's definitely, if you're into fantasy at all, if you're into, people trying to find themselves or something, this is something that I think would work out definitely for you in a very big way.
You know what I'm finding out, Mike?
What's up?
OneYoungsta, excuse me. I didn't mean to use your government name.
Nah, it's cool. It's just a code name.
Yeah. I'm finding that a lot of the mainstream stuff is not grabbing me as much. So the mysticism stuff and mystic, spiritual type comic books, they're grabbing me more. Like, some people would tell me about Sandman from DC Vertical back in the day.
Yeah.
I have to wait though. I can't delve
Because Sandman is like a long story.
Man, it's like 10 trades, 10, 11,
yeah,
15
it's,
trades, or the absolute
what is it,
one.
70 issues in all, I think?
Yeah. But I was skimming through that. I'm like, this looks cool. I feel like the mysticism stories, I feel like with the capes, I'm starting to notice now it's a little more cookie cutter a little bit from time to time.
Yeah.
But with the mysticism, like you would say, they have more liberty to do stuff.
Yeah.
And they get some excellent writers and different artists out there. So, thanks to you, I'm kind of, not that I've abandoned capes, but my third eye has been opened up comic book wise.
Well,
sort of
one thing that I really noticed a while back was that since people like Ghost Rider or Blade or Brother Voodoo or Shadow Man or any of those characters, or maybe like Etrigan or something like that, since they're not the most popular characters, Marvel or DC or whoever doesn't really mess with them as much. Like Wolverine,
the big wigs don't get in there.
Like Wolverine has to be changed all the time, or Wolverine has to be rebooted all the time, or the X-Men have to reboot it or changed or mess. But like Ghost Rider, like the all-new Ghost Rider, if you haven't checked it out by Felipe Smith and Trad Moore, you need to pick that up. They will be bringing it back, but you need to pick up that all-new Ghost Rider.
That. Remember I sent you the pictures of that.
Yeah. The all-new Ghost Rider, it will be coming back. And I believe that my man Black Ant, shouts out to Chicago, is doing some work on a special issue for it as well. Just when that came out and I noticed how they were able to like do something that wouldn't be considered Marvel, I was like, yeah, see, they get a little more freedom because, they're not, it's not big. It's not like Superman.
And they
Superman
tend to be more mature too,
Yeah.
so they have a little more freedom to do stuff. I've noticed that about, like with Hellblazer, that was on Vertigo. Of course, like I said, Sandman was on Vertigo.
Yeah.
So they give them a little more freedom with those titles. So I echo that thought too. So
cool. Well, hey guys, that is our time. I want you to jump down in the comments. Tell us what you're reading this month, what you've been getting up on, all of that great stuff, so we can, have a conversation. Also, real quick, I know that a couple of y'all have told me to get into Transmetropolitan. I saw some issues of Transmet, but they were like out of order, so I didn't pick them up. But I do have my eye out for Transmet. I'm gonna try to pick it up, read some trades, and get on up to that. I have no idea. I started getting messages. People were like, "You need to read Transmet," and I was like, "Cool." So I saw somewhere. I saw like
about reading Saga, because
oh yeah,
up here in Richmond, man.
Yeah, Saga's a whole other thing.
If you're not with Saga, then you're not it.
I haven't read Saga yet because it's one of those things that I feel like I'm so far behind. I should just wait until it's over.
That's never going to end.
Yeah, so I might pick that up. Who knows when? But
Pick like the
I
first
know,
straight up or something.
Yeah, I know people are loving Saga, so I'll probably get into that and check that out because it looks like it might be up my alley too. It looks like
That's
some
more
kind of
space.
So it looks like it might
Not
be up my
Afro,
alley.
but it's still space. Not Afro science, not Afro sci-fi, whatever, or Afro punk, but it has some black characters in it from what I've seen.
Cool. Well, guys, this is my man Avery. How can they find you?
You can find me at WRIR. I'm contributing there on the production team.
Cool.
You can hear me actually this Sunday. I don't know how timely this would be. I'll be DJing an hour of a set on Mellow Madness, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Cool.
With Mike Murphy. Thank you for the opportunity. And there'll be some more of me to come. I promise.
Cool. Well, of course, for me, you can check out ThatNERDSoul.com. Go there and check out all of my videos from the very first humble beginnings to right now doing my thing, holding down with the Smos, the Afterbuzz, and all of that good stuff. And also, don't forget to check out ThatNERDSoul.com. You can pick yourself up a t-shirt and pick your lady up one too. And don't forget to come back here, like, comment, and subscribe for your boy. That's the only way that I can show people that you like what I'm doing. Also, don't forget to share That Nerd Soul. Do not be stingy. Give it to your friends. And then, of course, before I bounce, I got to say LA, what up? VA, what up? RVA, you got my heart. And a very special thank you to Capital L House in Richmond, Virginia, holding it down. And before we bounce, we just got to say peace.